Loving God, Loving Life. Here in Romans chapter 11, we find the theme is that Israel was chosen by grace, but some people hardened their hearts against it, and the Gentiles are adopted into God's family. Here we wrapping up in chapter 11 this section from 9 through 11 on God's predestination. And just to note where Paul ends here, because this is the effect it should have on us. I can say that I've read this hundreds of times. I've studied this in depth, and you know what? This is the effect it has on me. It just gives me an awe. It gives me a bigger heart for God. Just knowing, you know what? He's in charge. I'm not going to comprehend every detail, but he is in charge. He absolutely sees the beginning from the end. He already knows how it's all going to turn out. Yes, he is the God who chooses. But notice the effect. Notice the verses here in Romans chapter 11, verse 32. Oh, how great, Paul says, how great are God's riches and wisdom and knowledge. How impossible it is for us to understand his decisions and his ways. Paul's saying, you better know he is in charge. He is. It doesn't always make sense to our human brains. We see him allowing all sorts of evil to run rampant during this time. Paul says that's coming to an end. Don't you worry, Paul. God's going to wrap that up. He's got a purpose for letting it run. Doesn't make sense to our human brains, but he's got a plan. He says, don't even try to figure all that out, Paul says, because God, you can't comprehend God's decisions and God's ways. He says, for who can know the Lord's thoughts? The truth is we don't. He gives us insights. That's why we read the Bible. He's giving us insights, but we're not going to comprehend the depths of God. Who can know the Lord's thoughts? Who knows enough to give him advice? Haven't we all done that? Tried to counsel God? And who has given him so much that he needs to pay it back for everything? And notice how he ends here. Everything. Everything comes from him. Again, there's two categories. There's the creator and the created. And we are in that category of the created. We are creations of God. Everything comes from him. Everything exists by his power. Everything is intended for his glory. You know how many questions that answers? Why do I exist? Why does that flower exist? For the glory of God. It's just for the glory of God. Everything is intended for his glory. The truth is why he allows stuff to happen on this earth. It's all ultimately intended. All at the end of the day, when judgment comes, we're all going to look back and we'll see that even evil ended up showing the light of God. The darkness just contrasted and made the light and the glory of God that much brighter. It's all, every inch of it, every speck of it, everything that's ever existed is intended for the glory of God, and it all gets wrapped up in the glory of God, and that should have an effect of peace on you. Whew. I don't need to control the universe. I serve a big God who's doing exactly that, and it should have this effect called faith. Faith, just a love and a joy and a peace in our life as we trust our amazing God. Our job is to share his amazing grace. So let's pray that prayer. God, today, send us one person today to share your love with. Remember, my friends, loving God is the only way we're going to love our lives.